And cool and dry this evening across West Alabama, 45 in Jasper, 52 in Tuscaloosa. Your local forecast here in just a few minutes.
And a Tuscaloosa man is sentenced for a murder in Fayette County. We have details. And the Purple and Gold was in Tuscaloosa. The Omega Sci-Fi Fraternity Incorporated convention. We'll tell you why. WVUA 23 News at 10 starts right now.
This is WVUA 23 News at 10.
And we're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Jabari Pruitt. Our top story tonight is the weather. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott is here. And Richard, does this weather will look anything like it did today, this weekend?
Jabari's going to be awesome this weekend. So those cold nights, let me take you back to this morning. We had 32 in Jasper, 38 in Tuscaloosa, and Demopolis 36. Right now, temperatures dropping into the 40s for much of the area. Although Tuscaloosa and Birmingham still hanging on to those low 50s. Jasper down to 43 now, and a clear sky across the region. Here's that Saturday forecast. Jabari, going to like this. Now, we'll be cool in the morning, really early, but we warm up quickly. 71 at lunchtime, 75 by mid-afternoon. Another repeat as we go into the day on Sunday. Upper 70s returning. Lots of sun over the weekend. No chance for rain at all as our local weather will go dry. And again, this continues into next week as well. But warmer weather will begin to move back in next week. Now, we need the rain, Jabari. That's kind of the trade-off. Yes, it's going to be a pretty and dry weekend, but there is no rain coming up anytime soon. The next 7 days will be dry locally. More on your local forecast here in just a few minutes, Jabari.
Richard, thank you. With a junior ROTC at Tuscaloosa County High School is planning a hurricane relief drive for next week. The effort is designed to help the people of western North Carolina who've been impacted by Hurricane Helene. The items collected will be sent to North Carolina through relief organizations already working in the area.
We hope to help those who have been directly affected by the Hurricane Helene. We're not looking for money. It's not a fundraiser. We're just looking for items that can pretty much help those who no longer have clothes, food, homes.
Seeing the articles and stuff about it on the news and how they're struggling, I just know that this could help them a little bit, and it makes me feel really good about it.
Well, I hope to expect other people to help our cause and bring in as much supplies as they can.
Now, the donation drive is next Saturday, October 26th from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. They'll be taking the donations in the north side of the parking lot near the High School Weldon Center. Signs will be posted directing you to the drop location. Well, a Tuscaloosa man has been sentenced to life in prison. 41-year-old Travis Williams pleaded guilty to 2 counts of murder in Fayette County Circuit Court. Now, Williams is responsible for the murder of his ex-wife, who was found dead in her home on Alabama Highway 18 East back in January of 2020. As part of the plea agreement, Travis was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences. Well, a new report is detailing a deadly school shooting that left 2 people dead and 6 injured in Iowa. That report was released by the law enforcement officials on Friday, found the victims were not specifically targeted and that lone shooter did significant preparations and planning. Sherelle Hubbard has more on this story.
A new report is outlining the events that unfolded at an Iowa high school in January. The report says the teen gunman entered Perry High School through its main entrance, concealed the weapons he was carrying, and hid inside the student bathroom for about 20 minutes. Once the school started to fill up with students and staff, he emerged and started shooting.
I saw the carnage that day produced, and I can tell you it left an indelible mark on my soul.
By the time the shooting was over, the gunman had shot and killed a 6th grader, Amir Joliffe, and wounded several others, including the school's principal, Dan Marburger. He died 10 days later and is now being hailed as a hero.
I can tell you that he saved lives that day. He called the shooter by name repeatedly. Dylan, don't do it. Dylan, stop. Dylan, let's talk.
The report says the gunman's actions that morning were indiscriminate and driven by a desire to commit suicide. The investigation determined that the shotgun used by Butler likely came from a large gun collection within the extended family without their knowledge.
Parents need to be involved. willful blindness is not a parenting strategy. You need to be nosy. You need to go through their room.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
And Governor Kay Ivey has called a special meeting for Tuesday to consider the immediate removal of Kent Davis as Commissioner of the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs. In addition to notifying the board, she also sent a letter to Admiral Davis enclosing the 7 reasons for his prompt removal. They are general lack of operations, mishandling the ARPA grant program, the filing of a frivolous ethics complaint, and a breach of agreement, manipulation of the board, and failure to comply, and the loss of trust and confidence. That meeting is scheduled for 2 p.m. that afternoon. Over in Pickens County, the city of Reform is getting nearly $470,000 to improve their water system. Reform's Mayor Melanie Davis confirms the money was awarded to the city, along with 6 other projects in the state. The mayor posted on her Facebook page that money will improve commercial attractiveness and the residents' quality of life. She mentions the grant will not be enough to cover the total cost of the project, and she is requesting more from the Delta Regional Authority. And the city of Tuscaloosa is accepting applications for one position on the Zoning Board of Adjustments. The applicant must be a resident of the city of Tuscaloosa and be able to attend monthly meetings. The term will end September 28th of 2027. Visit Tuscaloosa.com to learn more about the Zoning Board of Adjustments and to submit an application. Now, applications will be open until 5 p.m. on October 29th. Now, tonight, the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated held their statewide convention right here in Tuscaloosa. This is a yearly event where members of the fraternity from all across the state of Alabama come together. This convention consists of training, leadership, and social action work. The social action program for the Tuscaloosa area focused on sickle cell disease. The fraternity also donated $2,450 check to the Alabama Sickle Cell Disease Foundation of West Alabama.
Well, this convention is our yearly convention where we bring in our chapter members from all across the state and where we go through training and leadership, where we also allow them to fraternize and to come and do social action work wherever we are meeting, making sure that once we come into a place, we leave it better than we once found it.
More than 700 Omegas will be in Tuscaloosa this weekend. Well, the University of Alabama Rise Center celebrates their 50th anniversary this year, and you can help with their celebration at their annual Buy for Rise fundraiser. The community is invited to shop from a variety of retailers with proceeds going to the center. Now, this kicks off the event tonight at 4:30. It ended at 8 p.m. with a 75% off discount. Now, Buy for Rise will also host a drive on Saturday morning from 8 a.m. until 11. Now, tickets can be purchased from the Rise Center for $10 general admission.
It allows us to be the only RISE program left in the country that does not charge our children that receive services tuition. So we will be fundraising and selling items at 75% off tonight, and then tomorrow people can enter for free, and we sell items 90% off their original price.
The Rise Center also provides light refreshments, beverages, and music for people who attend the sale. Well, our sports team is back in house for another week of Football Friday. We have highlights tonight at 10:30. Our game of the week is Thorsby at Greensboro. We have highlights from Bessemer City at Northridge and Phil Campbell at Gordo. We were also at Sumter Central and Hale County and Hoover at Thompson. Football Friday starts at 10:30. With flu season, the Alabama Department of Public Health is encouraging Alabamians to ask their doctors about the flu shot and other vaccines. Now, this is part of Ask Your Doctor campaign. Now, several vaccines are being recommended this year to help avoid respiratory illnesses. ADPH is reminding the public to be simple hygiene efforts like washing your hands and staying home when you're sick, and that can help you protect yourself against infectious diseases. But you should also ask your doctor about which vaccines also help you stay healthy.
Yeah. You know, these vaccines work well in preventing respiratory illnesses, and it's really important if you have underlying conditions or if you're very young or very old. So they protect you and keep you from getting the risks, the things that are associated with not having them. You can have progression of the disease, you can have hospitalization, and even worse. So we recommend you get these up to date during this season to protect you.
Now, please contact your healthcare professional to get more information about the vaccines and which one you need. Well, coming up, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump campaigns collide in Michigan today. That story when we come back. Well, it was a busy day in Michigan for the presidential campaigns. Recent polling shows there is no clear leader in the state as both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump work to appeal to the voters there. Julia Benbrook has details on their strategies.
Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are locked in a tight race for Michigan's 15 electoral votes.
We got to win this election.
Both candidates are focusing in on this crucial battleground state Friday. Harris has appearances in Grand Rapids, Lansing, and Oakland County.
She has to make sure that she talks about what she's going to do for her term in 4 years, what she's going to continue to do in terms of focusing on economic growth for everyone.
In recent days, the vice president has aggressively targeted Trump's rhetoric on the trail.
The American people are exhausted with his gaslighting. Exhausted with his gaslighting.
Trump is participating in a roundtable in Auburn Hills in Oakland County and a rally in Detroit.
I think his message is under Republican policies, you'll do better, and under Democratic policies, you got decline. It's a pretty simple message, and that's really his message for a lot of urban areas in the country.
It's the former president's first trip back to the Motor City since he insulted it during an event last week.
The whole country is going to be like, you want to know the truth? It'll be like Detroit. Our whole country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president.
Back in 2016, Trump won Michigan, helping him secure the White House. But President Joe Biden won the state in 2020. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
And cool and dry this evening across West Alabama. Look at that local forecast coming up next.
Hi, I'm Dr. Milady Murphy for this week's Your Personal Best. For those of you that like core training, the straight arm plank really works the core muscle group as well as the total body. But as we get older, getting up and down off of the floor can be a bit of a challenge. So I have a modification today of the straight arm plank on the chair. But I do want to say this, if you do not have upper body strength right now, this is not the exercise for you. When you're doing the straight arm plank on the chair, make sure your chair is against an immovable object so it won't slide. Place your hands on the outside of the chair and bring your feet back 3 to 5 feet away from the chair. Make sure your shoulders are above your wrist, hip is in line with the shoulders, toes to the floor, heels are up, and you're not sagging your hips and you're not lifting them up. You're keeping them in alignment with your head neutral. I like holding this between 5 to 30 seconds and then step toward the chair and back up. This is considered a repetition. Rest between that repetition before you do 2 more. Again, I want to say this is an advanced move. If you have difficulty with balance or upper body strength, this is not recommended in the beginning. You can work towards regaining upper body strength to achieve the straight arm plank. This exercise works total body, especially the core muscle group. If you have any pain at all, stop. If the pain persists, consult with your physician. And so until next time, be safe and practice wellness.
Hear my forecast every day on 92.1 The Possum. And cool and dry across West Alabama this evening. A live view from Bryant-Denny Stadium here in Tuscaloosa, looking off towards the north across UA campus. Temperature right now at 50 in Tuscaloosa. Wind is light to calm. We topped out at 73. What a nice afternoon. But look at the swing between the low this morning at 38 and the afternoon high of 73. We'll see much of the same over the next several days. Now, lows will come up a little bit, but so will the afternoon highs. So here's a look at Doppler radar. Things are all quiet across the region. No rain, no chance for that. Currently 43 in Jasper, some of the cooler locations. Birmingham and Tuscaloosa still in the low 50s for now. Here's the lows for tonight. I think Jasper could see upper 30s, as well as Coleman, Gadsden, and Haleyville. Got 41 for Demopolis, 43 in Clanton. And our forecast heading into Saturday, quick warm-up by lunchtime up to 71 and 75 by mid-afternoon. Plenty of sun and the complete weekend. Great looking weather. We've got upper 70s on Sunday, again mid-70s on Saturday. Sunny, cobalt blue skies both afternoons with no chance for rain at all. Now that's good, and that's also bad. We need the rainfall out there. The latest drought monitor continues out there to have drought conditions expanding across Alabama. And with the lack of rain for the next 7 to 10 days, we'll likely see drought conditions get even worse across Alabama as October continues very, very dry across our neck of the woods. Here's the latest numbers from the Weather Prediction Center. Obviously, with no rain expected, no rain accumulation expected. It's warmer across the plains tonight. In fact, interesting, the Minneapolis is 67. We are at 50, Mobile at 53. More cool air, though, coming out of the Rockies. That'll be here late next week. And again, temperatures begin to warm up over the coming days before dropping off by late next week. So let's talk football. Alabama taking on Tennessee over in Knoxville on Saturday. 2:30 kick, around 69, 71 by the end of the game. And for the Auburn game, taking on Missouri over in Columbia. That is an 11 a.m. kickoff, 61. 71 by the fourth quarter, upper 60s after game time. And Mississippi State taking on Texas A&M over in Starkville, 3:15 kick, 73 and 62 by the end of the game. So again, tonight around low 40s likely, and then tomorrow we're back into the lower mid 70s. Look for temperatures somewhere between 72 and 75 for tomorrow. We've got upper 70s on Sunday. Lots of sun expected Sunday And Monday, you'll see those warmer temperatures back in the low 80s on Monday and Tuesday. Still quite chilly at night with those 40s expected by the time we get into Monday night and Tuesday night. Then another surge, some cooler air beginning to come in late next week, Thursday and into Friday. That's your forecast update. Here's Jabari.
Richard, thank you. Football Friday is coming your way at 10:30, but first, our weekly Alabama football preview. The Tide is ready to take on the Vols tomorrow afternoon in Knoxville. Stick around. Gary Harris is next with sports.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Gary Harris. Football Friday coming up at 10:15. Alabama basketball tonight over there in Batwell Auditorium, an exhibition game for charity against Wake Forest. The Tide rolls despite having 4 players out of the game, 98-77. Bama takes over Batwell Auditorium tonight. That basketball team is looking good. Of course, we're going to talk football, too. It's the 3rd Saturday in October tomorrow, and that means that Alabama and Tennessee will get it on shortly after 2:30 at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville. Here's Tide TV's Christopher England with his weekly in-depth Alabama football preview.
It's the 3rd Saturday in October, Alabama and Tennessee, one of the oldest rivalries in college football. It will be the 107th meeting between these two schools, the second most games against an opponent in Crimson Tide history. Alabama owns a 60-38 series advantage, winning 16 out of the last 17 meetings, including the last matchup in Tuscaloosa this past season. In that meeting in Bryant-Denny, from the second quarter on, Alabama outscored Tennessee 34-7. Jihad Campbell put the exclamation mark on the victory with this fumble recovery return for touchdown as the Crimson Tide rolled over the Vols 34-20. Alabama owns a 27-21 all-time series advantage at Neyland Stadium, but the Vols did win the last matchup there back in 2022. Tennessee snapped Alabama's 15-game win streak over Tennessee as the Vols kicked the game-winning field goal as time expired. Tennessee enters the matchup 5-1 on the season and 2-1 in SEC play. The Vols' lone loss on the season came at the hands of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Down 14-3 in the third, the Razorbacks scored the final 19 points of the game to defeat the Vols 19-14. Josh Heupel is in his 4th season as the Tennessee head coach, and as the head of the Vol program, he is 1-2 all-time against the Crimson Tide. Tennessee is 2nd in the SEC and 9th in the nation in scoring offense, averaging over 42 points per game. That's just a half point better than the Crimson Tide. Tennessee boasts the top rushing attack in the SEC at over 246 yards per game. Junior running back Dylan Sampson leads the conference in rushing with 699 yards, averaging over 116 yards per contest. Sampson also leads the conference with 15 rushing touchdowns. That's 4 more than second-place Jalen Milroe. Nico Iamaleava leads the Vols offense and is a dual-threat quarterback that is 3rd on the team with 196 yards gained on the ground and ranks 8th in the SEC, averaging 203 yards passing per game. He has thrown 7 touchdowns on the year with 3 interceptions. While quarterback Jalen Milroe leads the SEC with 23 total touchdowns, and the Crimson Tide is 10th in the nation in scoring offense, averaging over 41 points per game. This is going to be their toughest test to date. The Tennessee defense ranks 2nd in the nation in total defense, allowing just 249 yards per game, while also ranking 4th in the nation in scoring defense, giving up just over 10 points per contest. But this will also be the toughest test for the Tennessee defense so far this season. Despite those impressive rankings, if you look a little closer at the numbers, against their 5 FBS opponents, only one offense ranks in the top 50 in total offense. And that is the Arkansas Razorbacks at number 8. Florida is 59th, while the other 3 opponents rank 100th or worst in total offense in the nation, with Oklahoma ranked 126 and Kent State dead last in the FBS at 133. Kickoff for the 50th ever meeting between Alabama and Tennessee played in Knoxville is set for 2:30. The game will be broadcast on ABC. Reporting from the Crimson Tide production studio inside Bryant-Denny Stadium, I'm Christopher England with Tide TV. And nice weekend weather coming up Saturday, mid-70s, Sunday, upper 70s, lots of sun, low humidity. Keep in mind, though, it's going to be chilly at night tomorrow morning and Sunday morning, starting off in the low to mid-40s. Next week, low 80s returning for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
All right, that's it for us. Don't go anywhere. Gary Harris is next with Football Friday, full hour show. Have a great weekend.
See you.